Welcome everybody back to Late Night Snacks. Hi, we're glad you're all here. I would like to go ahead and start by introducing myself. I am one of your beautiful hosts, Irish Melly. Way over there is the beautiful DeWanda.
Hey everybody.
And right here in the middle, I think he's here. That guy?
Yeah, I think he's here. There he is.
There he is.
And of course, you had to do it.
That's for you, Gary. We want to give a special happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday. If anybody sees BRT in the comments, please wish him a happy birthday. And we'll talk a little bit more and say happy birthday. We'll sing to you at the end of the stream.
Oh,
So today we are going to talk about the POSE-A-THON from last night. We will be reviewing it, giving you our reactions, and overall discussion. So let's go ahead and let's have a discussion about the POSE-A-THON. Well, I guess I'll start. I'll start by saying, yes, I loved it. Yes. But this was emceed by Emmy, Grammy, and Tony Award-winning actor and activist Billy Porter, along with co-star MJ Rodriguez. This event brought together the voices of POSE for stories, songs, and support of the LGBTQ+ education, social change for sexual and gender minority people of color, and transgender equality through legal services and policy efforts. And our whole, well, not the whole, but most of our POSE cast was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And let's just say a little nod. Billy looked amazing as usual.
Of course he did. When is he not?
God, I know.
Amazing.
And so did the guy that plays Poppy. He was all souped up too.
No, he looked really
They
good.
all looked great.
They all
like
looked
even
really
just
great.
even for being casual, they all looked great.
Yeah, it was weird seeing Dominique that casual.
Yeah.
Dominique
And I liked that though, because it was like we didn't see them just as their POSE characters.
Yeah.
We got to see them.
Dominique's interesting because we saw her last week on Legendary, or the week before. She was the guest the week before, and my God, she was a ruthless bitch. I mean, she made me uncomfortable. But when she was pleading her heart here, I just fell in love with her. I was just like, absolutely, she's amazing. So she really knows how to put on that part before, and be normal when she's not.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, Patty LuPone.
Shut up,
Shut up,
Patty LuPone. Yeah, it was nice to see Sandra Bernhardt there and Patty LuPone because neither one of them have appeared in POSE, I don't think, but they both appear in Ryan Murphy shows. So they were there in support.
Well, and we know Sandra's a big activist for the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
She has been, God, since the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Sandra Bernhardt was in the first season of POSE.
Oh, that's right. She was the doctor or the nurse.
Yeah. Sandra Bernhardt was also one of the first lesbian characters in a relationship on a TV show.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. On Roseanne in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also infamous for their relationship with Madonna.
Yes. And just a little side note, I was just telling the guys, for anybody who, I know they made it so accessible, which I love. They made it where you could watch it on any platform, which was amazing because so many people have one or the other, or have none, or have just this one. So that was great. I chose to watch it on YouTube so that I could watch it live and chat along with other people while I was watching it. And lo and behold, one of the special guests in the chat was Sandy. Sandra Bernhardt showed up and was chatting along with fans while the show was on. It was great.
She's amazing.
She is.
She's such an advocate and so in your face.
Oh God, yes.
And I love that kind
unapologetic too.
Totally unapologetic. When she did when in the band and the band played on premiered on HBO. That's when Sandra really got her voice. And she started really speaking out during the promotion period of that show, and she hasn't stopped ever since. Also, at the end, we saw when they did you guys catch the little video of Billy Porter's song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deborah Messing was in that, and there were several other really allies. It was great to see. But this is primarily about transgender women of color. So they were hitting both of the sides of Black Lives Matter and the transgender issues that are going on today. They really wanted to really funnel in that portion of the community and really make awareness for it. And I thought, first off,
they did an amazing job.
I thought it was raw, and I thought it was really in your face, that in such a good way to hear that. Oh my God, they're allowing this. Finally, they're allowing stuff like this on TV.
And Disney backing.
And it was Disney. Yeah. Oh my God. I know that there's got to be some backstage drama with that, because they kept making a really big point about thanking Disney first, and then FX, which is
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Disney's like, we'll let you do this, but you have to make sure to tell us over and over how much you appreciate it.
So, but you know what? If Disney allowed all of this and they just didn't overstep Disney, then good for Disney. Good for Disney.
For sure.
Because
like we've talked about previously, though, we know Disney owns Marvel, and we know what's coming up for Marvel, just even with our discussion the other day. So, I mean, Disney seems to be maybe coming around a little more inclusive.
Originally, with Disney, with their movies, they were kind of just like trying to shoehorn some stuff in there, and it was just kind of obnoxious. But if they're allowing this type of platform with awareness and telethons and stuff like that, and then this type of awareness. I mean, like I said, this was really raw. This was really angry, and it was really passionate, and they were telling their own truths to just be right out. And Disney allowed it, and not only did Disney allow it, they allowed it on so many platforms. It was so accessible.
Read Debbie's comment. I put it up there. So
I've seen it. Yeah, it's great.
Oh God, yes.
I saw David Letterman.
She does that with everybody that interviews her, though. She wants to push them and make them uncomfortable. I love it.
Oh, yeah, that's part of her unapologetic, way.
Oh yes,
because people will listen to people like that. You got one or two things. You got people who are advocates that really perform well when they are giving a lot of education and a lot of facts, and they're charming and they're engaging. Or you have people like Sandra who are just in your face, and you can't help but to hear them.
Yeah,
Sandra's one of those.
And they're in your face in a positive way.
Yeah,
it may make you uncomfortable. It may make you laugh, but it's in a very positive way and for a positive message.
Right.
What I found the most engaging thing of the whole evening was their personal stories, what pride meant for them, and what they were fighting for, and where they feel that they are, where they feel that they're going, and that was like really stripped down. I mean, there were. Can
we just say who among us was not bawling? I am so glad I had taken my makeup off at that point.
I was actually glad I wasn't wearing my makeup last night.
I know.
It would have been a total mess.
When Dominique started to give her
it would have been one of those nasty cries.
When Dominique started to do her thing with her what pride meant, and she started to get really angry, and you could tell it was like real.
You could see it. You could see it.
That's what that one got me. And then the girl that plays his ballet teacher or his dance teacher, and she was telling the story of that girl growing up and how she mentored.
Oh my God, I was bawling like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, incredibly powerful. The music. Let's talk about the music for a second. I mean, we had, first off, you got Billy Porter, who's leading the charge, doing some amazing, covers of Broadway. So they did. He did.
And we all know Billy has an amazing voice. We know this, but my God, did he seem to just belt it out for last night?
Yeah, he's got the big single out right now, the "Love Yourself," which they really wrapped this whole show around, and they did a big finale where everybody, participating in that song, and it was great. We had guest people, Patti LuPone, West Side Story, someday, which is all I said while she was performing. I was like, and that's why she's Patti LuPone. Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without any fanfare, without any huge orchestra, without any performance.
Needs no introduction, no nothing.
He was Tony worthy right there last night, and Billy Porter was Tony worthy. Some of them, we're singing from the heart, and they're not necessarily singers, but they sung from the heart. It was, and that's where you could tell they were putting everything.
And MJ, she did so well.
Oh yeah, And also, who is Candy's friend? I
I can't remember her name.
The one that plays, the other, the two boxes.
Can I just say, you know, as an interjection real quick, that this POSE-A-THON is amazing to watch, even if you can't donate, which was their purpose. It was like a telethon, but that's why it was a POSE-A-THON. But it was amazing to watch. And even for people who've never seen Pose, this was something that would open your eyes if you'd never had this conversation. This was something that made you bawl when you have had this conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this was for everybody. It really was. And you didn't have to see the show to watch this and know what they were saying and what it meant.
This was a group of like-minded people that have the same passion for the same, organization or topic or way lifestyle, that were just leading with people. Educate, accept, grow up, and that kind of thing we were talking about before, about silence equals death and enough is enough. That's really where they are. And that's really where the community is just standing up. We're back at that enough is enough stage. And I'm so glad that they got the airtime that they did last night. It was amazing.
Well, and I was kind of searching through the Twitterverse and seeing what people were saying about it. And basically everybody came to the same conclusion, maybe in different words, but the same. I kept hearing the same word, healing. Everybody was saying this is the healing moment that they needed right now. This is what a healing moment that we needed in this time period of our lives, in 2020.
Yeah.
And it really was. It really was. Especially the end with Love Yourself, like you said, the way everybody came together for it. It was just a healing moment. It really was.
And it's surprisingly, for a telethon, like you think of Jerry Lewis telethons, you think of other Musco District telethons, stuff like that we've known all through our lives. This telethon is actually like a show that you could watch over and over again, that you could share with people. It's amazing. They could put this telethon on one of the seasons of Pose and just air it.
Well, and you know what I liked about it? I liked that we heard the stories. And it wasn't all just anger and hate, but it was love, acceptance, understanding. And I like that these people did tell their stories, but when they told their stories, they told how it made them feel. When someone would say something about them to them, even if you're not in the same room as them, how it makes them feel. And I think that's what, as a country, as a nation, as a world, we need to hear. And the people, especially these people who have so much hatred inside of them, they need to hear this. They need to know. And you're not going to change everybody. It's never going to happen. No matter how hard we try, you're never going to change everybody. But if we can change a small portion of people just by saying, hey, look at this person telling you right to your face how you made them feel by saying that or by doing this. That right there was amazing to me.
Yeah, the advocacy part of it, with like the kid that plays Poppy, when he was talking about being an advocate, not being part of the community, coming into this, not understanding the community, and admitting that he was part of the problem, and realizing that he now his job as an advocate, what an advocate means to him, is those instances when you hear something with some, even if the trans person is not in a room, to make sure that you correct that and you say that that's not okay.
Because hatred begots hatred.
And he was really broken about realizing that in himself. And pretty amazing.
His story was even very heartfelt and very touching, because to anybody who's ever looked at someone different and thought, wow, you're weird, you could apply this. You know what I mean?
Something at the end of her real passionate speech, something like, above all, I'm a human being first. And it's just
the one thing we all have in common is a human being, not a human. What was it? A human living. We're human beings. I love that. I love that. I thought that was just beautiful and poetic, and you don't think about it that way. Even the word being split up, human being.
Yeah. And she also mentioned something that I don't think a lot of people realize.
The whole thing was just beautiful.
That trans women and have lost their health care. There's they no longer have to be covered.
And that's not something you hear about in the media. So this isn't something that a lot of people would have known had they not heard this or they not said anything.
Yeah. And so they're fighting for, number one, they have additional medical needs anyway because of their treatment and what they're going through. Because you imagine being halfway in the middle of transition and this had happened to you.
Oh my God. I've heard horror stories of people that's happened to, and they've taken their own lives because they're not allowed to be who they know they are.
They talked about that too. They talked about the suicide rate.
Why would you do that to someone?
They talked about the suicide rate and the Poppy. He mentioned something about the age that you will only live. The statistics show that you'll only, if you're a trans person, you'll only live to 35.
35 or 36, he said.
Wow.
That was shocking.
Shocking. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Or maybe
that's horrifying.
Yeah. It was.
I mean, that's close to my age. So it's like, to hear that, it's like, my God, friends of mine could be dead right now because they chose to be someone else.
That's from assault. That's from, being homeless. That's from a suicide and stuff like that. But 35, that's crazy. And then when Dominique started going through, she talked about back in the 60s and stuff when you had lynchings and things of
the Stonewall riots. They were talking about those.
And she talked about how she's like, we're still having these lynchings, and she started naming off her friends and what happened to them. And I was like, wow, this is so personal.
I'm just thinking about it now because because we've heard some of these stories, but we didn't hear all of them, and it was just like eye-opening. And it's just like, my God, to know you see it on the news, you hear about it, but to hear it from someone's mouth when it's not just scripted, it's just like it hits you. It really, really hits you as real. And this is happening now. This is something we cannot let continue to happen.
Yeah, the transgender community of color is really the down and out. I mean, because the majority of them are part of poverty. They're part of homelessness. They're part of lost souls, and they've got everything going against them. And they get society just completely shunning these people. And I'm so glad that they're finding a voice. And it's powerful.
Yeah, and that's the big thing that they're asking for Pride is they're asking if you know someone who sees things a certain way, sees things in a negative way towards these people, share this video with them. Like I was saying, share it with them. Absolutely. I personally know people who aren't as open-minded as I would like them to be, and I'm not going to push my agenda on someone, but I do want to educate people.
Or even if you find sound bits of some of these speeches, you can send somebody or whatever just a sound bit or two from what they're saying, because there's just
it doesn't have to be the whole thing.
Yeah, you don't have to watch the whole thing if you're like, no, I'm not going to be into that. I don't want to watch it. I don't like singing, whatever. I see people right now, screw these queers. Because there was even people in the comments of the POSE-A-THON that were pissed because they were not announcing a season 3 release date.
That was crazy.
There was people who were simply posting, this is so boring. This is bullshit. I mean, I was just like floored. But at the same time, I'm like, you're allowed to have your own opinion. If it doesn't, float your boat, jump off.
You don't have to watch.
What I find fascinating about those opinions and how those opinions are made public from things is it shows you what type of people we're dealing with. Yeah. And that's how then people know how to fight. People know how to get up there.
And that wasn't even the most ignorant of them. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have those people in there because I know they had moderators. But you can only imagine what people were typing that was redacted.
Oh, just evil. Gross stuff.
I could just
and it was the complete. It was. You are perpetuating exactly what we are saying. We need to stop.
That's right, and that's why it's good to hear that side. It's good to hear that type of and educate. Absolutely, get out there and educate. Because that's all it takes. Everything in this world, everything about the unknown and what you fear usually comes down to lack of understanding of it, lack of education on it. Educate a few people.
Well, and let's talk about the finale real quick with Billy Porter. What was it he said? Because he started out with his monologue and then he went into Love Yourself with the whole cast.
Right.
He talked about of how he was slammed for his authenticity and how first he was slammed for his authenticity, and then he added that it would go on to become his liability. Yeah. And I'm just like, and he said that he is living proof that it is the very authenticity that will take one places.
Was it an agent or somebody that told him, that he's talking about, that told him you will never be successful because of who you are.
Yeah.
You will never be masculine enough.
Yeah.
You will never be, and it's like, and then it was good that Billy said that. I struggled. I believed that. He started to believe that, and yet he continued on. He's like, now into the world, you can be anything you want to be. Be your true self. Be your authentic self. And I was glad that the story of the girl was told, that there was some downsides to that as well. So they talked about school, talking about her going back to junior high school, and how she had a really incredibly rough time. And they did school, but it's all about support system and the strength of support systems. And that was good to hear. I cannot get over how raw it was and how honest it was.
And I loved it for that.
Did you get the charities that they were?
Yes, I did. I wanted to go ahead and mention those real quick before we close out.
Before we close out,
they had 3 different charities that they were asking people to give donations to help fight this cause. The first one, I feel like I'm gonna butcher these. It was TLDEF, the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. It was found, and I'll tell you real quick, it was founded in 2003. It's committed to ending discrimination based upon gender identity and expression, and to achieving equality for transgender people through public education, test case litigation, direct legal services, and public policy efforts. And the second one was HLM, in partnership, which is House Lives Matter, in partnership with the Hetrick-Martin Institute for LGBTQ plus youth. The Hetrick-Martin Institute works with the LGBTQ plus youth between the ages of 13 and 24 by providing a safe place to access basic needs, mental health, and physical wellness programs, academic enrichment, and job readiness training. HMI also supports other youth-facing organizations to help them better meet the needs of LGBTQ plus youth and their families. The Hetrick-Martin Institute also partners with House Lives Matter, a homegrown peer leadership and advocacy project that promotes wellness, quality of life, rights, and resilience among youth and adults in the house ball community, and mobilizes members from different houses and regions across the U.S. around a shared advocacy agenda.
That's what I like about that charity, the Institute charity, is they're a network, and they use all their donations to network with other people, make sure people are getting the care that they need.
And the last one was GLSEN. GLSEN. I'm sorry, it's GLSEN. I remember that specifically because it made me think sparkle, shiny, like glitter. And I thought, God, Billy, the way he said it, I'm like, you are fabulous, honey. You GLSEN. But it's GLSEN, GLSEN. And GLSEN's mission is to ensure that every member of every school community is valued and respected regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression, which I think is really important, again, for today's youth, especially in the high school setting.
Yes.
Especially where high school is just brutal in general, not to mention if you're going through an identity crisis. I can't imagine. And those were the 3 that they were promoting. We will go ahead and put the links in the description below if you guys feel you want to go ahead and donate or look more into these charities.
They're amazing.
Don't feel you have to donate, but the only thing that we ask is educate yourself. If you do nothing else, educate yourself.
Yeah. And one story. Listen to one story from one of these guys.
One story, yeah. That's all you have to do. Just one story. That's all we ask. If it changes your mind, that's amazing. If not, we're not expecting to, but we just want to educate you. And then
if anyone wants to actually see the POSE-A-THON, it should still be on YouTube.
Oh, it will be.
Yes, and we'll link that in the description below too. So if you guys want to go ahead and watch that. And just real quick, I also wanted to mention that for Pride Month, us ourselves here at Late Nite Snax are doing a charity. We are taking donations for a charity We will have a link to that in the description to our Facebook group, and you can go to our Facebook group. Our charity is the Trevor Project, which coincides with all these other beautiful charities to help LGBTQ plus youth in the community. One of their main goals is to prevent the youth suicide rate of the LGBTQ plus community. And like I said, we'll have a link describing that and telling you a little bit more about that. Feel free to donate, but don't feel obligated. $1 goes a long way, guys. Just $1. If I could tell you could donate a quarter, I would, but I think $1 is the minimum. But $1 goes a long way to help somebody who truly needs it in our own vicinity, in our own areas.
And in this day and age, in 2020, and with what we're dealing with in the government and politically, these organizations, Trevor Project, the other ones that they were supporting last night, those are our hope. That's where people need to go. Is people that will be advocates for them. Can't depend on regular.
They are the future, plain and simple. They are our future.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we hope you guys have enjoyed our review and reaction to the POSE-A-THON from, what was the date? June 28th? 27th? Regardless, we have links in the description below if you guys want to check it out. And one last thing, we again want to go ahead and shout out and say happy birthday to the lovely BRT. Oh. Wait, we didn't start yet. Now we're going to sing. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Wait, I'll do the Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. BRT. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, wand of the day.
And we need a wand of the day.
This is the read. Remember, we're doing a Celtic calendar. This is the read, and its dates are. It's one of those Vine ones.
Okay.
Oh,
what
pretty.
You guys like that one? It is October 28th to November 24th. So this is your Halloween one.
Where's mine? Where's August?
Skipped you. Come on. This ain't about you. I love you.
Yours is one of the ones that changed. So we'll get to yours.
You guys have already done. You've already done yours.
All right, guys, code word. With that being said, we love you. We love you for being here. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.
Good night, guys.
We're still here. Go home. We love you.